I can hear your dice, Ben. It's like a tornado is blowing through his house.
Sorry, that was my water.
We can hear it all.
Let's see, what do I need to get?
Oh, that is hilarious. You guys crack me up. I probably should make sure our stream is actually live, because, I don't often check that as much as I should. Hey, look, I think we are. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Are we live?
I got some notifications saying they were.
What's that?
I got a few notifications saying they were.
That's good. I think it says we're doing weapon perks, though. That's not... Oh, you know what? I don't think I changed the title of the stream. I don't think that's update all titles. That's why it says it's wrong. So our title is Extra Credit Live Stream. Let's do this. Boom. Alright, they're all updated. Oh, I hear somebody bellowing for me. Yes, Empress! The dog doesn't like her talking to me. Yes. She says we're good now. Your chat display is ready. Go live. Oh wait, no, that's not right. No. Did you confirm that? Oh, we did confirm, right? That we are live.
Yes.
She sees it. Okay, awesome. Because I did it a different way than I normally do, and thinking that was a good idea, and it was in fact not. All right, so hello and welcome, heroes, to this cluster F that is me. I am Justin, aka Total Dumas. I am your dungeon master for the next foreseeable future. I'm really excited. Once a month, we get together with our generous Patreon donors and run a game of D&D. I'm really excited. This is an ongoing set of modules for the Adventures League. And that way we kind of have an ongoing story, but it's in individual packets, I guess. So everyone gets the full-on enjoyable experience and overall arcing story. So, that being said, man, your dice, dude. He's like throwing around with a baseball bat. So, real quick, let's introduce our characters, and then I will tell you where we're at and what you're doing. We will start from the left of my screen and work over. Austin, who are you running, and who are you?
Hi, I'm Austin. I'm a co-host at Crit Academy. I was asked to join you today 20 minutes ago, starting now. So I'm in the middle of creating my character. He's kind of almost done, but I am playing a character called Leaf Asker. And he is a Warlockadin, Palak, whatever you want to call it. Those awful names. Paladin Warlock. 3 levels in each. So
very cool, very cool. Ben, are you ready?
Ben?
Yeah.
Okay.
My character's name is Bokaj. He's a deep gnome artificer.
Okay, very cool. Is there any interesting flaw or character
really get
concept?
a backstory up for him.
How about a personality trait? Something that will make him stand out.
I did.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I didn't come up with anything.
That's all right. That's
Yep.
fine. If you come up with something, let us know, and we'll continue on from there. So I've got Seth.
Okay.
Why don't you go next?
All right, so I've got Vilsis. He's a half-elf sorcerer.
Very cool. Anything interesting or unique about him?
So with Vilsis, kind of has an identity crisis because he's
cool.
a half-elf.
That's funny.
And with sorcery, has kind of a focus specifically in his spell casting, kind of going with that not sure kind of who he is type of person,
Okay.
with fire and ice.
Okay.
Very cool. I like that balance there. Very cool. Especially because I'm watching Avatar now, and that just totally tickles that set of my dice.
Oh yeah.
All right, Troy, what are you rocking?
Today I'll be playing 7, Warforged Inquisitive Rogue and Representative, Enforcer, and Investigator for the Lord's Alliance.
Just for clarification, I in fact will not remember all that, but that is awesome. No, Inquisitive Rogue. All right, and I
Yeah.
didn't actually write down what's something interesting about 7.
7 is a construct that was created to be a manifestation of the Lord's Alliance. Him and his kind were created to enforce the alliance and maintain the peace between the kingdoms.
Fancy. Very cool. And if you've watched any of the previous things we've done for extra credit, you've probably seen 7 before. He always throws me for a loop for this creative. I don't know, his Swiss Army fingers, man. Like, doesn't stuff just like come out of you and open shit? It's always a tool.
He did in the early ones. Unfortunately, when they re-released the Warforged, I lost my integrated thieves tools. So
That's a shame because that was
Yeah.
very much a. That reminded me of. Oh shit, the Teen Titans guy.
Cyborg.
Cyborg, where his little finger like bends back and a little gizmo comes out. And all right, Austin, what did you say your name character was? I didn't write it down, so
His name is Leaf Asker. It's a
Leaf.
reference to something. So if anyone actually knows what it is, kudos to you. If you don't, that's okay.
And then Ben, what did you say your character's name was? Because for some reason I decided not to write these down. So
Bokaj.
Bokaj. Bokaj. All right, guys.
Bokaj.
Oh, I definitely didn't spell it that way. I wrote it out phonetically. I've mostly learned my lesson. All right, so I'm really excited. So to give everyone an overview of where you're at, so in order to make these kind of pop in and pop out adventures work, we're following the Adventure League modules. That makes it a little easier, and it gives me an opportunity to give a quick once over to get you up to speed of where you're at and why you're here. For my sanity, and since people come in and out and so do the characters, I just assume that you're all part of the same party, and we wave that away magically. That's the beauty of it being a game. And it just makes it easier. 'Cause
Magically, they're gone.
it's magically delicious. I tried to do it as like an ongoing campaign, but with people coming in and out, it was just too hard. So now I don't even try anymore. That being said, the adventure began with you guys meeting up with Serenola of Elventree, the priestess of Maliki, and member of the Emerald Enclave. She was the leader. She and other leaders of the multiple factions, including the Lord's Alliance and the Harpers and all that jazz, had a mission of some very importance to discuss with you guys. On your trip, on your way to the Elven Tree, you happen to come across an elven bard named Elanil Elacidil, very famous in these parts, very good. She's like the Elvis of her era, or of her, of the Forgotten Realms, I suppose. She had run into some trouble with drow in the area. You guys had come across her, and she was being ambushed by all these drow. You guys managed to successfully catch one. And so taking the drow that was captured to Elven Tree, you guys were introduced to the Emerald Enclave and Zern and who I mentioned earlier, Serenola, and they basically tasked you with checking out this strange appearance of this big hole that appeared that drow had just been flying out of recently, right? That led right to the Underdark. You guys end up traveling down the big giant hole and ran into some troubles with the lifts not working, some monsters attacking. It was a whole bad thing. Didn't go super well for everyone involved. Some people were pretty badly hurt. That's the way it goes. So you guys managed to get a little rest once you reach down there, bandage up, heal yourselves up. The area is dark and dreary. Unfortunately, you have quite the ways to go to find where this location is that you're seeking out in the Underdark. According to the drow that was captured, you're looking for a place named Sith Morcaine. It's a drow outpost, and apparently it had been assaulted by some demons and some other bad stuff, and so they have been fleeing because they're either being killed or forced into servitude. And so now you're trying to find this in the Underdark. You don't have a map or anything like that. You just know it's in the area. So you need to scout and look for it. You have a general idea of the direction. Heading south down a river, you guys put together a river float, and that is where we are at now. Any questions so far? Because I know that was kind of fast.
I'm pretty much relying on you guys.
I think pretty much everyone's in the same boat at this point. Or
Yeah.
the same raft. Anyways, so you guys are on this raft. It's dark and dreary. The raft moves through the darkness with only the light that you're providing as illuminates the dank passages you travel. Save for some common creatures one would expect to be underground, your journey is provided few glimpses of any other living creatures. And after several hours of travel, the passage begins to open up. The water sloshing back and forth. It's getting on your face, all that stuff, and exiting out this opening, you realize the enormity of what really lies ahead of you. The cavern stretches farther than your light reaches, but the light is not needed to see the vastness of the area you're in. Phosphorescent molds, fungi, and lichen, give off a really eerie glow that, reveals the cavern's size to be miles across. Spore clouds in the air, floating on unseen breezes above you. The river you are on winds through a forest full of color and texture of, different colors glowing and maybe almost thrumming. And it appears to end in a lake. It ends at a lake that appears to be, exactly in the middle of the chamber as far as you can tell based on all the almost like stars in the sky at this point, even though when you came down here it was early morning. As you start to kind of contemplate your course of action, there is a rustling on a nearby shore. Shining your light over in that direction, two creatures suddenly burst out of a grouping of bright purple mushrooms. A small humanoid with dark skin and white hair and a mustache, white bulbous eyes, and wearing armor chases, strangely enough, a tall multicolored mushroom. The small creature catches up to the fun guy and trips it, all the while spouting off some sort of gibberish. More like the dark creature run out of more of the dark light creatures run out of the cover of the flora. They try to take possession of the mushroom creature from the first one. A scuffle starts back and forth, enabling the mushroom to escape with the small creatures without the small creatures noticing. What they have noticed, however, is your light off in the distance. And you can see this probably a good medium distance away, which is approximately 50 or 60 feet away from the shore.
Okay.
Is anybody trained in nature?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, everyone can give me a nature check then. So, for those of you who are watching, one thing that 5th edition does that I kind of like is that anybody can do a check, but when I run games, to ensure the people who take points in skill sets, I always try to offer those skill checks to those to let those characters shine. If not, then I let everyone roll and hope to see if somebody gets it.
No. I don't get it.
He's like, whatever it is, I don't get it.
I guarantee it. I don't get it.
This is my first time down here. I have no clue.
They look like walking mushrooms.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, those mushrooms are walking towards us.
Well,
That's weird.
they're at the thing. So what did anybody get over 15? Anybody? What everyone get?
I got a solid 2.
Yeah, not gonna do it. Okay.
I rolled a 1, -1.
Well, so you guys have no idea what these critters are that are running around down here, but it looks it looks like something that belongs on a salad at this point.
I also rolled a 1.
We got a group full of smart people today. So
Boy, that
Oh,
makes
man.
me feel a lot better now. I think that actually makes it the highest roll.
so these you
Wasn't
can
a lot of competition apparently.
anybody trained in insight?
Yes.
Give me an insight check, please.
It's a natural 20 plus 8, so 28 insight.
So you can see the visible frustration, not in like any face, but by the constant gestures that these critters are making. And off in the distance, you guys actually spot them pull something out that looks almost like a small crossbow, and they start taking aim towards your light, and you hear a thrumming as you hear the snapping of these strings loosening these things, and you can see the water splashing as objects, probably bolts or arrows, are splashing into the dark water around you and hitting into your handmade raft with thuds back and forth. They have dozens of these things have just started unleashing little tiny bolts over the water to you. What do you guys want to do?
Paddle away from it. Were they in the direction of the town thing in the center?
So basically this thing took you basically towards the center. So right now I would need a survival check. No, I don't need that. No, you don't think so. But once again, you're not 100%. You just have a general idea. So that's why you got on this river, which basically took you to the center of this big underground cavern. So at this point, the direction you got to go is just north of where these things are on the shore, unleashing rain upon you.
So we just need to go down the stream faster, is what I'm hearing.
Well, you've got to the end of the stream. It's like a lake.
Oh, we're
now.
at the end of the stream.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're like at a
gotcha.
lake that's right at the center. So the water runs from outside directly into the center, almost as if the whole thing is designed to run water towards the center. I don't know, maybe like a slight incline, I guess you could say.
Gotcha.
Okay, so these guys we're not passing these guys. We've been heading towards.
Yeah,
these.
you ran into it, but because it's on the outside, it's not really necessarily the direction you're going. It just so happens in this round donut area, they happen to see you and are now shooting at you because you're carrying a light, and they just lost whatever it was they were chasing.
So
Can
I'm not sure if this is smart, but should we just put out the light, and do you think they'll just stop shooting at us?
Well, chances are anything that's down here does that in this place without light probably doesn't need light.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I would say.
I dropped my die.
Did you dump all your dice out?
I did, and the D20, the one I need the most, fell. So you guys figure that out. I'll be right back.
I mean,
Going great.
I could sit here and trade pot shots with these guys all day, but I think
I was gonna say I have Eldritch Blast. I could just all day.
what did he tell us how far? Like, actually, I mean, he doesn't do actual distance. I'm assuming this is long range, but
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys
What's
come to a
the
decision?
What's the range on these guys?
They are hitting your thing. The reason I dumped the dice out was I was going to start rolling to see if they hit anything. But right now they're missing because you appear to be just out of range, at least you think. But it's hard to tell in the darkness and just the shadow casting of your light. Has somebody got a light spell, or I assume you just got a torch? If not,
I have a
lantern.
light spell as well. I mean, I can use light cantrip, but I also have 120 feet of dark vision, so.
So do I.
y'all can see just fine, I suppose.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he's a deep gnome. You're from these
Oh
parts.
yeah.
Snurf Neblin.
Sverfneblin.
Snurf Neblin. All right, so is the plan to try to engage them? You're gonna try to paddle away out of range. What's the plan?
Can I tell how deep this lake or wherever the water we're at is at?
Give me a perception check.
+5, 19.
It looks very dark. With the paddles, the homemade oars, you can't feel the bottom, but you would have to know that it's probably deeper than you can reach.
Well, you can reach the bottom.
Okay. Well, like you would be below water or below the surface.
It doesn't take much for me to be below the surface.
All right, everyone, give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Say I'm wearing chainmail, so the odds of me sinking is very high.
I'm getting very concerned because I've already got 2 natural 20s, and I'm afraid it's
It's
really
all
gonna
gone?
hurt me later. That's 27. So
I
that's
got a
that's like
22.
that's like a month's worth of crits in one night in the first
Bad.
few minutes.
Mhm. I rolled a 7.
What about
so-
you, Ben?
13.
All right, Ben and Austin, or I'm sorry, Leaf and Bakash. You both take 4 points of damage as a couple bolts manage to snag Bakash in the shoulder and one right into your the thick meat of your thigh there, Leaf. And you look and you see these are little tiny bolts, but they're coated in something green. Give me a Constitution save.
Is it a disease-based thing?
Yes, it is.
I have advantage on it then.
Well, okay then.
I asked. Wait. Also, I'm a paladin, so it doesn't matter. I have divine health, so I would have.
Now, do you have an aura that'll help Ben out?
No.
Okay.
I'm only level 3 in paladin. So
That's the
I
other.
have an
That's
aura.
our actual Avernus game where both paladins have stupid auras that buff them up, so I can't affect them with anything. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
a
have a
30.
14.
Dashes kiss.
What was that, Ben?
14.
Okay, and Austin.
Said it was a Constitution. 17.
All right. You guys, your bodies kind of tremble for just an instant. You feel a quick spike of pain, but you're able to shake it off. Your eyes get kind of blurry. You kind of shake it, and you quickly realize that there's some sort of toxin or poison attached to these darts, these arrows. So we have an option. If you guys are going to try to paddle away, we can. Otherwise, we will have to do some sort of initiative roll or something. Because right now it looks like you're getting. You may be able to try to paddle out of range if you want.
Can we paddle? Is there a like down the coast? per se?
Yeah, you
Like-
can try to paddle to one of the other because you're basically right in the center at this or moving towards the center, and they're along the right side of your boat. So if you tried to go farther to the left or straight onwards, you would slowly move out of range.
I mean, we should just go for that, right? I mean,
Yeah, no sense in.
So then I have a cantrip shape water. So I will try to then manipulate the water to create kind of like a 5 foot tall, 5 foot wide wall right behind us where they're shooting at.
I
Shooting.
like that. I like that. So
that's awesome. Actually.
The rest of you grab your paddles and you start, paddling as you're hearing thud, thud, thud and splash as these bolts. Now as they're more and more landing on your raft, you can see them kind of thrumming with this light green glow. And then sure enough, you see right behind you, is it Vilskith?
Vilsis.
Vilsis. Not even close, Justin. Vilsis, as they start paddling away, you kind of do one of these waving of your hand, and you pull it up, and the water goes up around the back of the raft, and you start seeing several of the arrow or the bolts kind of get caught into the homemade barrier you've made. As you guys slowly get out of range, you start to notice that the little critters, whatever they are, start to lose interest. Once again, 7, you can tell by their body language that they're visibly frustrated. You don't know if it's frustrated because you got away or because whatever they were chasing got away, but you can see the frustration in their bodily motions. And then you see them kind of just begrudgingly run into the fungi forest behind them as you guys exit their reach.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like they're heading down the coast to follow us or anything.
No.
Good.
Give me. Everyone, give me a perception check, please.
13.
19.
5.
All right, Austin, Leaf, you actually noticed that the critters that were shooting at you kind of darted off through the forest the same direction that the one they were chasing was at, almost as if they were going after it.
So it just looks like they're just leaving us alone, like they've
Yeah.
given up on us.
Yes.
I relay the information to everybody. Looks like everyone's leaving. Looks like they all left us. I don't know why. I don't know why they were shooting at us to begin with, but they're gone now. And I just kind of
Okay.
shrug.
All right, so you currently are floating on this raft with all these little poisonous darts in the ground, around you. Do you guys know that you'll probably have to make land somewhere to figure out which your next steps are, unless you have any other particular ideas? Because right now, all you know is you got to head somewhere north. That's not super helpful, but nobody down here really had any other information other than the drow that you had captured, who was kind of clunked out and was ranting for some reason, was ranting madness and crazy speak and all that jazz.
Do we know which way is north?
That's a
Does it
good
say
question.
any of us?
It's hard to tell here. You'll probably have to get to some sort of ground to make that, because right now you're not really sure with all the twists and turns from the river.
Okay.
All right. So what is the plan? Are you gonna?
I want to look along the coast for signs of
Like
creatures,
movement, maybe?
people, movement, anything, and try to find a chunk of beach that looks calm.
All right. Give me
Good idea.
a perception check.
19.
So you actually, as you are, you're kind of spotting around. The harder you look, the harder it is to actually find any moving critters. But you do spot that some of the few, I don't know if you want to say like these pillars or these stalagmites that are on the bottom that
Yes.
stick up.
Mhm.
These stalagmites, you do spot some sort of grime or glowing pattern to the phosphorescent I don't want to say algae or fungus or whatever it is, appears to be on a particular side. You give me a nature check, please.
13.
You recall that at least on the surface, fungus usually grows on the north side of trees. Now you don't know that that's true down here, but you spot a nice little beach and figure that that's probably your best bet.
Better than nothing, I guess.
Say, I was going to pick a direction at random if nobody said anything, so let's go with that one.
Fair enough. All right.
Works for me.
Let's go that way.
So as you guys approach the river, Bakash jumps out and starts pulling, or not the river, the riverbank. Bakash, you kind of strug through the water. You can feel the in your boots as you're bringing the raft up onto the shore. You kind of drag it there. You think to yourself, you probably should. If you got to get back, you probably want to tie this off so nobody like walks off with it or something like that. Is that something?
Yeah. I'd probably find. You said there were stalagmites around.
Yep, there are.
I would attempt to tie it to one of those.
All right, give me a survival check.
10.
It looks good
Right
and
on
tight.
the dot.
It looks good and tight. You think you learned this when you were younger. You've been practicing this for a long time. You think it looks good, but it's kind of dark. But your dark vision will take care. It looks great. It'll hold. You give it a little tug, it'll be fine. You've fully secured the raft so that it will not float away or disappear. You think?
Uh,
All right. So you guys have Seven has given you some insight into what he thinks might be happening, what direction may be north. As you guys are kind of catching your breath at this point, if you want to do a short rest, any benefits that come with that. You didn't take much damage because you chose not to fight the critters, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. As you guys are kind of...
Justin's finally giving us the opportunity for rest, and nobody needs it.
That's good. It's not...
the hilarity behind it.
Yeah, right. Well, that's on you guys. Okay, yeah, I don't really do that very often, do I? No.
I'm gonna. Well, I gained my warlock spell slots on a short rest, so I guess I cast Cure Wounds on me and Bakash.
Bakash. Okay.
Bakash.
Yep.
So I mean,
Roll your dice and heal up.
it's the second level slot, so whatever, get 2. So that is a 2d8. And let me just, which is probably going to be more than enough. If you really have to worry about the modifier, just let me know.
9.
Yeah, so I think we both heal back up. Yeah,
Sure,
I got
sounds great.
14.
All right, so
Cool.
you guys take a quick breather. You've been traveling for hours. Something's weighing on you though. Like there's something not. I don't know. It's not right, but you're hearing these really bizarre and alien like whispers. Everyone, give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. 12?
4.
Wisdom. 19.
19.
You guys are fantastic, except for 7 apparently.
Yep.
So 7. This, I don't know how to explain this because you're a. Well, no, you still have a soul and everything. It all affects you the
Yeah.
same. What's that?
But I still have a mind. It was
Yeah.
made for magic, but it still
It's
exists.
still, yeah. So it should still. I mean, there's no way if it had notable. Do you have
body
any
is
advantage against charm effects or anything like that?
I do not. Said
Okay.
my body is very resilient, but my mind is that of any other living creature.
Okay, so for a few moments, for some reason, as 7 is talking to you guys, his speech becomes jarbled and doesn't make sense. And after about 10 minutes, it goes away. Or, well, he begins talking and it gets jarbled and mixed up. And how do you guys react to that? I gotta roll.
I ask around real quick. Is this normal? I mean, I
Technical
clearly
malfunction?
don't. I clearly don't know this person as much as I should, but is this normal?
Do
Yeah.
I realize I'm making no sense, or do I seem to be?
It doesn't actually tell me, so I'm gonna say you sound like you're just saying what you're supposed to say. But they're looking at you weird and reacting and asking you, inquiring, why you're babbling incessantly. Because yeah, the madness table doesn't really give any details on that. But for reference, you need to keep track that you have 1 level of madness.
I think that's the first time. Oh no, that's actually no. This is only the second time you've ever given me a madness effect.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, you made me you think you made me paranoid once with a different character.
Oh yeah, when we ran that.
Fascist.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was great. I remember that.
Right.
Anyways, so after a few minutes of this, you guys are kind of disoriented. You don't really know what's going on. All of a sudden, he starts talking normal again.
That's exciting.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say we're fine.
Okay. Meanwhile, this kind of I don't know, this uneasiness, like this weight, this pressure, continues to kind of push on you since you've been down here. It seems like the weight is getting more. A great example would be like being in a sauna as it slowly gets hotter and more moisture and more uncomfortable. How is that making you feel there, Vilsis?
It's definitely spiking anxiety a little bit.
Good. Well,
Yep.
for me, not for you.
Um,
As you guys are kind of getting ready, you're packing up your stuff, you're recovering. There's clearly something in the air is messing with you, and you do know that if you're down here for too long, who knows how much you'll end up babbling. As you're getting ready to go, the surroundings have slightly changed a little bit. You see that a patch of mushrooms that you were resting near has become much thicker. In fact, a particularly tall one seems to have some strange coloring as the creature, the same coloring as the creature that you saw being chased by those monsters early on. As you become aware of their presence, though, a group of walking mushrooms appears to break from camouflage as if they were there the whole time and surround you. They make no hostile moves, except they collectively move their arms and spores come forth and begin to envelop you all.
I don't breathe. For the record.
Okay.
I unfortunately still have to breathe for now.
Breathing is optional. What about the rest of you?
So that sucks. I don't get Undying Nature till 10th level.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I got 7 levels to go yet.
What is Bakash? Am I saying your name right, Bakash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does Bakash react to this?
Well, I was thinking, is there a way to capture them without spreading more spores?
Capture these mushroom-like creatures or capture the
Yes.
spores?
The
You're
mushroom-like
surrounded by a
creatures.
lot of them. There's probably 9 or 10 of these things surrounding
Ah.
you. So you could probably get a hold of 1 or 2. But
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say we should just probably barge through these things before we really start dying.
hold your breath and run.
is that what you guys do?
I think that's the plan.
How
honestly,
tall are they?
They range from a couple feet to about 9 feet.
that's a pretty large fair. Go through the smaller ones.
Bowl them over.
Yeah.
So is it safe to assume you guys are going to try to dash through them?
Yes.
I think
Alright.
that's the
Yeah.
plan.
So as you
Yeah.
guys dash and bowl through them, they don't make any effort to chase you or anything. As you
What I
take
figured,
you
yeah.
take a deep breath, you get probably 30 feet away, and the pollen is starting to choke you like you swallowed on a white dandelion. If you've ever seen anybody choke on one of those things, it's hilarious. But that's pretty much what happened to 3 of you. 7 was on the ball and took a quick
7 doesn't breathe.
at all.
At all.
Yeah, like
Well then, okay, so that yeah. Because you said you hold your breath, didn't you? I'm like,
deep boot.
No, the undead paladin guy
oh,
can hold his breath
Yeah.
definitely, but 7 just does not breathe.
gotcha.
And I
Alright.
can't do that yet. So
I do not eat, drink, sleep, or breathe.
Breathing
I'll
is
do that.
optional.
Much
All right,
later.
So as you guys dash away, you push through them, you knock a couple of them down. They kind of roll like you'd expect a mushroom-shaped person to roll. Let the mushrooms roll. And then within seconds, you start to hear this. It's not really a voice, per se, and it's not a language, but you hear these kind of almost like whispers. They're at first they're very indistinguished as you guys are running away, you're hoofing it away, and you hear. thank you comes across, but not as like a language. It's just this telepathic understanding, I guess. Jumps into your head. Those of you that can breathe. Unfortunately, this doesn't.
Are we
affect
hearing
Zema.
like deep speech like right now?
No, it's honestly though, it's not. They don't actually have a language. It specifically
What?
says that. Yeah. So you hear this communication,
Ew.
a repeating
Freaky. I like
thank you coming across in this. The voice are foreign, and it's quiet, but it's just starting to give you an impressions. That's a good way for it. They're impressions. Very quiet impressions of thanks.
Okay.
For helping him escape. At this point, I'm just assuming you're still dashing away. 7 definitely is, because he doesn't hear shit. So he just... What about the rest of you?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep running. I don't want
Okay.
any part of this. My background is the haunted one, so any voices that I'm hearing is like, no, big X, big X. Big X.
It's like, I don't think so.
We gotta go now.
All right. Assume that I assume that everyone is just gonna keep on going then. Freaked
Yep.
out. It's dark. You guys just keep on dashing right through there. So
Gotta keep on running.
as you keep on running in fear, that impression slowly begins to fade. You're pushing through colored mushrooms. Some of them, when you touch, you can see where your fingerprints were. It lights up for a second, just like in something in that Avatar movie. You remember when he's beating on them and they're all glowing? Kind of something like that as you guys are pushing through them. You come out into a large clearing. You've now comfortably escaped the creatures of the Underdark. You believe you are heading north at this point. Do you guys want to stop and discuss just what happened?
Hey, robot, not breathing guy.
Not a robot.
Not a robot?
Not a robot.
Thought it was. I heard 7, so I'm like, I don't really quite remember everything right now, but
Yeah. All right, so
you seem to have been not faltering while you were running. Either you were really scared of those things, or you didn't hear what we were hearing. Did you hear anything at all? You hear these voices or somethings?
I don't believe the mushrooms made any noise.
Guys, I think we were high. That might be a thing.
what the hell?
Something sure happened.
I mean, I'm trying to make sense of things here. I just don't want to believe that the voices that were talking to me were actual ethereal beings trying to speak with me.
Yeah, do mushrooms have brains?
As far as I'm aware, no. But maybe those ones did. What if they were people? What if they were people who were turned into mushrooms? And then they were infecting people with their spores, and we were going to turn into one of those mushroom people. See, this is why voices are bad. As I hold up my arms like this.
Somebody get him a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me
what's that
some
helmet
water,
made
bud.
out of?
How do you guys react to his paranoia?
I don't think it's that bad, but it was definitely weird, that's for sure. I mean,
I mean,
I
we
heard
didn't die, so that's
thank-
good.
I heard thank you, so usually when we're being thanked, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Unless, now hear me out. They're saying thank you for giving their bodies to us, so that we may become spore people. I've just gone straight into the.
I
conspiracy
love it.
theory,
I love
apparently.
it. Yes.
Prematurely thanking us for being a sacrifice? Is that where you're going?
Exactly. See, you're getting it now.
That's funny.
I'm understanding you. I'm not getting it.
How
Yeah.
does Bakash feel about that?
I look at him like he's crazy. And
Well, I am, so it's okay.
I'm
Here-
wondering.
I got a point of madness, but what the hell is your excuse?
That's funny.
Typical
I'm
edgy
starting to
backstory.
wonder
My whole
what the-
village died, I guess. I don't know.
What's that, Ben?
I'm starting to wonder what the creatures were attacking the one that was running away from earlier are, and why they were trying to go after the talking mushrooms. Because if they can talk to us, obviously there's some sort of race.
I mean, you're a local, aren't you? Don't you know what these are?
A Snurf Neblin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he would, wouldn't he? It
The
technically says he gets they automatic if they're from the Underdark, they would know that, and I had
deep-
forgot that. Yeah, he's a deep gnome.
Hmm.
So this creature is called a Darrow. Darrow. It's a variation of a Myconid. That were in fact attacking other Myconids. Basically, it's like the equivalent of elf and dark elf, right? They're the same thing, but they're different. One's worse than the other, I suppose. I totally forgot you were Smurf Nevelin and fucked that up. My bad. Your character would know that because you're from the Underdark. I assume your character's from the Underdark, not like raised on the surface, were you?
No.
Okay. So you did know what that. Here I was going so hard out of my way to not say what they were called for no other reason, and I didn't need to. Shame on me. Anyways, you do know that Myconids are pretty passive creatures, and they're pretty welcoming usually. Yeah, but you already left, so I'm not undoing all that. My bad. But I will remember that moving forward. Probably not, but I'll try.
And I didn't even have to be the crazy guy now.
Well, actually,
Oh, well.
that's good. Ben, you actually explained to them kind of what those were. You don't have a close relationship with them, do you? You just something you know from being down here?
Just something I know.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right, so at this point, you guys need to navigate the Underdark.
Is it still well lit by the fungus and stuff?
Well, yeah, I would say it's very dim light.
Dim light? Okay.
Dim light, yeah.
If it's dim light, I'm gonna go keep using the lantern for bright light.
Okay.
Jose, I can cast a light cantrip too if we need to.
Yeah, because carrying the light worked so well for you earlier, right? All right, so
Gotta do what we gotta do, I guess.
so you guys need to navigate this hostile environment in order to. Do you think he hides his mic or his screen, but not his mic, so we can still hear him?
Maybe.
I'm letting my dogs out.
Oh, I was just like, I envisioned you like thought you were muting your mic by turning the screen off, and we can hear him. I hear you taking a shit. I can smell it too. Anyway, so you guys are have to make your way through this cluster F of an Underdark. You do have a general idea which direction is north. So, is anybody trained in nature?
Nope.
I think we
I all
established
went through
that
this
earlier.
before, yeah, right? Yeah, and I think
Um,
none of us are.
survival anything?
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody got survival?
I am in survival, I believe.
All right, give me a survival check, please.
I don't have my dice. I'm outside.
Oh, well, okay then. Well, anyway, so I'll just go through a descriptive thing right now at the moment while you're letting your squatting dog, take a dump.
Three dogs.
3 dogs. You have 3 dogs? Man, 2 is
Yes.
enough. I have a really, really smart one and a really dumb one. All right, so you guys are pushing your way through the different stalagmites and past the mushrooms and the big crystals, and you stumble across this. Why don't everyone give me a survival check, and then we'll add it to what he gets, because I think a group check would make this easier.
8.
16.
6.
My survival's
7.
4, and I'm proficient in it with a bonus of 3.
All right. So did you? Yeah. When you get back, we'll have you roll.
Okay.
Because I'm looking for something at the moment. I found it. So you guys are meandering through these giant mushrooms. You stumble across these big purple and black mushrooms. I would say that the Smurf Neblin would actually know what this is. but you guys aren't paying attention. And if you rolled less than a 10, you actually bump into some of these before he can shout out to you. So.
Well. That's me.
And
So I need. It ends up casting this. As you bump into it, it casts out this big giant porous purple and black materia. A material, not materia. Stop playing Final Fantasy. The material scatters out and completely blankets the area in pure darkness around you. Leaf.
Oh, I got Devil Sight. It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not magical. It's just heavily densed.
Oh, okay. So it's not magical darkness. It's just so much gunk in the air I can't
Yes.
see.
It's like
Okay.
China.
Smoke bomb.
Yes, something like that. Yes. It
Gotcha,
makes it
gotcha.
extremely difficult to see.
Well,
and
darn.
around a 20-foot radius. So anybody that's in it gets kind of caught in it, which is pretty big. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Ben to get back here because there's something else I want to do, but he's got like the training, and I want you guys to just walk right into it. I mean, I
Right.
do, but I don't.
I rolled a 4. Would I be in that too?
Yes. Well, it was basically to see who stumbled into it. I mean,
Oh,
it
gotcha.
basically just went and made it completely
In other
black.
words,
And
us.
yeah, you can't see nothing at this point.
we're like,
Fun.
I'm suffering blindness temporarily.
Yeah. And you find it very difficult to breathe because the stuff starts to rush in, and you've already had the white dandelion choking flower stuff already. Not a fan of
So,
Anybody
Can
got
I-
concealer?
that. What's that?
My
Anybody die?
survival roll is 21.
So you actually identify these as they're non-toxic mushrooms. They are called cloud spores, and actually, you and your the those in the Underdark often use them as some sort of cover or alarms, because they cast a big area of darkness and blind people. But you do know that they are non-toxic or anything like that.
well, at least I'm not gonna die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. It's not over yet.
Can I like duck down to the ground and like maybe I'll like be lower enough to it? And
It's
maybe it's like all
it's
concentrated
like
in the air.
It goes out in all directions like a bomb. So
Yeah.
it's not just a bomb that goes up and then I mean eventually.
Well, I'm
it
like
comes
similar to
down.
like smoke, so it's like I can at least breathe more if I like get down, right?
Yeah, that's true for smoke. It's not really that. It's just a heavily
true, I
dense
guess.
material that's just in the air. Now it's coming down. You figure
Right.
after a few minutes, but you can't see which way you're going. What do you guys do?
I guess I stand still and I can't imagine you guys are super far from me, so I'm not gonna scream, but I'm gonna be like, "Are you guys? Where are you guys?" And then I'll just walk to the voices if they reply.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm right here. Where is
Okay.
everyone?
Well, I walk towards you.
Give everyone. So everyone's calling out. Everyone, give me perception checks, please.
That's a nat one.
16.
So
Hey,
20.
I'm not doing anything good today. Oh boy.
so we got a 20, a 16, and what was the other one there, Ben?
12.
12. All right, so the three of you are kind of able to reach the edge of the this big cloud of cloud spore dust, and you get out and you realize that Leaf is still trapped in there somewhere. So you guys all start kind of hollering out to him, and
I'm having a tough time.
yeah, you are. That's okay. The challenge isn't over yet. You're able to navigate him out. Unfortunately, you guys you guys come out and there are these weird, like, almost, yes? It's uploaded to YouTube. I just got to do the rest. You notice off in the distance these kind of purplish, blackish lights kind of dancing around, heading towards you. Mr. Smurf Nebulin, you actually recognize these as shadow motes that often float around. These orbs of darkness often float around these clouds because it's easier to catch people by surprise. but you were able to get out of it quick enough. You do see these kind of spooky things moving towards you. You do know that they are dangerous if approached. But right now they're a long distance away, moving towards your cloud, your area. What do you want to do?
Are they attracted to darkness, or they're just using the darkness to identify things to eat?
Yes.
Okay.
They're specifically when those. Remember, I mentioned earlier that those are often used as some sort of alarms or draw attention. So these shadow motes are using that as, oh hey, there's food and they're coming this way. But because you guys got out of it, you rolled pretty decent. Barely made it, but that you have time to get away if you so choose.
Are they coming from where we came from, or are they coming from
They
where
are
we were?
coming from the west. You guys approached from the south because you're heading north.
Yeah, if we can skirt them, that probably
Yeah.
Is Leaf still in there?
No,
He's you guys were able to get him out.
Yeah, you guys got me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marco Polo style.
Yeah, basically. Marco, Drow! What? So, go ahead and give me stealth checks with advantage.
So I'll just be a normal
Yes, because you have your
Yep.
armor.
15. Not bad. Not bad.
12.
20 total.
25.
All right, so you guys are poking around, and the Bakash, the Smurf Nebulin, has his tools kind of on his belt, and as you guys are kind of sneaking around, some loose change kind of falls out and clings to the ground. You quickly pick it up. You see you guys get probably a good 100 feet away, and you do see the motes start circling around the cloud spore dust as it's beginning to settle.
Okay.
But you're able to successfully navigate away from those, whatever the hell they were.
So we got out. Not bad.
Yeah, it's a shame. I've been wanting to use that for a while, bastards. Anyway, so you guys are working your way through the Underdark once again. Can I get survival checks from everyone, please?
Boy.
So that's
12.
good. There's an 8 again.
19.
It's a 3.
All right.
I'm not doing hot today.
No, it is pretty rough. So you guys are meandering about. You're finding little clues. You know, the glowing moss on the north of the, or on the quote unquote north side of the stalagmite or stalagmites. You're kind of guiding in and out, twisting. You make your way through. There's constantly noises of, you know, monsters skittering across or bellowing roars off in the distance. You're actively doing your best to avoid it. And after about a day of traveling through this, I'd say about a day, without a long rest, because it's, you know, risky, but you're not going to have any penalties or anything yet. You guys are traveling through, and you're starting to realize just how dangerous this place is, not just from the monsters, but the pressure that's building up around your mind. I need another wisdom save as these whispers start drilling themselves into your head.
Oh boy.
5.
I'm sorry, what,
20
five?
total.
Nice.
5.
Uh-oh.
10.
Natural 1.
Oh no! I get to roll on this thing 3 times? Are you kidding me? That's glorious.
I got a 10.
Should not have used wisdom as one of my dump stats.
It's not even a dump stat. I'm just
Hindsight.
rolling like crap today.
So oh my god, as Leaf is walking this, you're already paranoid. You've already got all this stuff going on. These whispers are in your head. They're haunting you. And then instantly, shadows jump out and attack you. You guys look over and you see Leaf unconscious on the ground. As you're kind of walking
Wow.
through, you see
That's brutal.
well, you didn't take no damage. You're just unconscious.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Bakash, As you look back, these voices are twisting in your head, and you see Leaf kind of fall unconscious. You start to become paranoid and frightened of everything around you. So,
I mean, he was already, but all right.
right, Bakash was?
Oh,
No,
Bakash.
not
sorry.
Bakash.
No,
I'm
it's-
unconscious.
No, the other guy's unconscious, and then the last
I'm
one
fucking
is
down and out.
for the next. Oh, that's not so bad. Vilsis, you get this voice in your head that it's praising you for your greatness and your awesomeness, and you're always right. You don't make no mistakes. So, hang on, I read the wrong one. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, no, don't take that one back. That was a good one.
It sounds like you got it now.
You will. You hear this this voice that was encouraging you starts to berate you, and it's been berating you for hours to the point that no matter which decision you make is always wrong. So for the next
It's the
hour,
complete opposite.
yeah, for the next hour, you have to do what anybody tells you that's not destructive to yourself, because you can't trust your own decisions. Meanwhile, you guys end up finding Leaf is fallen unconscious. What are you gonna do?
I'm trained in medicine, so I am going to start checking him.
Yes, give me a medicine check.
14.
You see his eyes flashing quickly and violently as if he's in some sort of terrible mental state. Maybe he's in a serious dream. You don't see anything physically wrong with his body, though. So whatever is wrong with him is likely due to this overwhelming pressure that's been building up on you.
It's all in my head.
So you do shake him a
Help.
little bit. You put some cloths on him. You slap him around a little bit with a, and after a good, 10, 15 minutes, he does finally start to wake up. You're not exactly sure what caused it, but it's something probably tied to this crazy pressure that's pushing down on you. If you failed, you now have an additional level of madness.
I think that's all of us at one now. Yay!
Yeah, you're all at one. Some really cool shit happens when it gets really high. But anyways, all right. So
Cool.
as you guys start
Right.
seeing all these kind of weird things going on, you're starting to struggle to know what's real and what's not. Are those noises you're hearing off in the distance, that skittering, that clanking, that hammering, that howling, is that real, or is that just something that's coming from this dark pressure that's been haunting you since you got here in the Underdark? Now, you've been traveling a while, and I would say off in the distance, a couple hundred feet, you see an oddity, something that doesn't seem to be something you haven't seen yet. You see this oversized stalagmite that appears to be carved into a semi-tower shape. You see windows in it. There's flickering lights in it. It's probably about 4 stories high, this massive thing. It's the closest to any sort of home or house or living space that you've seen since you've been down here, off in the distance.
That's not what we're looking for, right?
You're looking for the Sith, the Sith Morcane, which is a outpost. So
So it could be
maybe,
what we're looking for. Yeah. Okay.
Can we see any creatures in and around it?
Give me a perception check.
I say I think we're kind of far, aren't we? But maybe not.
9. Not good.
No, yeah. Ben, you have give me a history check, Ben, Bakash.
2.
No, we're doing great today.
You guys are on
We're all
fire.
doing
I
fantastic.
told you it was not good that I got those 20s so early on.
What'd you get, Vilsis?
I got a 2.
All right, so you, Bakash, you've seen structures like this. It's not uncommon in the Underdark for people to build their living space out of the rocks or the stalagmites because they're strong, they're reinforced, and there's lots of them. But you don't know who or what this belongs to.
You can definitely tell we're not cheating. Because these rolls are not intentional, I hope, anyway. Holy cow.
So what's the plan? You guys can bypass this tower, or you can go knock on the door.
Is it like?
I mean,
So-
it looks creepy as hell. I mean, but so does everything else down here.
I was gonna
Right.
say, like, it could be helpful regardless, right? I mean, maybe? I don't know.
like
If it looks like a
sci-fi,
house,
assuming medium-sized creatures, does it look like something that's like a person's house or a family's house, or is
The
it
closest thing,
apartment building
the,
sized?
the closest thing that you could correlate it to would maybe be a wizard's tower, that sort of size.
Okay.
If that
would
helps.
it be something that I could scale it and see if I could peer into a window?
Absolutely, you can try.
I'm not gonna do that, that's for sure.
I'm
So
sure
there are
every-
these rolls today.
I'm sure all the
Yes.
lovable creatures in the Underdark would be happy to have somebody peeping in on them. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
All right.
What do we got to lose, right?
Are you sneaking up to it, or are you just gonna nonchalantly strut up and then start climbing?
Sneaking up.
All right, give me a stealth check first, please.
I will be at a comfortable distance away for you, bud.
It's like,
All you. I believe.
Are there like?
Four.
4?
Is it in
I have
clearing?
an advantage on that, and I still roll 4.
Oh
What's
god.
that, Troy?
I say, is it in a clearing, or is there like stalagmites and stuff that you can?
It's. I wouldn't say there's a clearing because there's stalagmites everywhere, but there aren't any within the immediate vicinity, probably a short distance away. So it's probably by itself, 20 or 30 feet, but that's probably because of its size more than anything else.
Alright, I'd like to move forward with him, not all the way up to the tower, but to like the last cover behind the last stalagmites
Okay.
up there. That's a stealth roll of 27.
All right, so you think you're sneaky. As you're walking right, just kind of behind Bakash, you're already not super happy with the stealth stuff because he keeps dropping shit and making noise. It's echoing off all the stalactites and stalagmites. So you kind of veer off behind the nearest stalagmite just to kind of get a good view and poke around. Toss me a perception check, please. At the same time, Bakash, you're trying to make your way. You're sneaking in. You see a window. You see the flickering signs of either candlelight or something similar. You're ready. Oh, I got to get out my pittance. I'm going to climb up to that window because I can't reach. You pull out your pittance, and they fall to the ground with a loud clang. The sound of the clang just ripples through the entire area. Clang, 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 clang. If there was any person, if there's something inside, you can see shadows of movement. You don't know if it's because you alerted somebody, but definitely something inside moved. Give me an athletics check. And what was your check there, 7?
7 is so irritated with the noise he's making. He's glaring at Bakash and is oblivious to everything else. I rolled a natural 1.
I was
I look
gonna
over to
say.
Vilstis. This is awful. This is going so bad. And I ready my sword. I'm just like, whatever's happening next.
Bakash, you start clanking up, clink, clink, clink with your little pittance and climbing tools. You get up to the second floor where the window is open, and you start to peer, and the front door opens with a loud creak. And out comes this tall, slender figure with these monstrous tentacles hanging from its mouth, bouncing. And he goes, "Who is there?" You see big, bulbous black eyes, purple skin, long like tendrils, and he snaps up and he looks and sees Bakash hanging from his thing.
This
And he
is
looks
not-
up.
This has been going great.
Who are you? And why are you damaging my home? He holds up a hand and points and says, "You come down from there.
Maybe we should have just knocked.
And you see
Would have been the same effect.
instantly, Bakash, you know that this is an illithid. You know this is a mind flayer. He is like, I don't know what Troy's doing, but he's hanging off like fuck. He opens. He says, "What do you want? And are you gonna pay for the damage?"
I just thought mind flayers aren't inherently evil, right?
Wrong.
Wrong.
They are. Oh well.
Oh yeah.
Generally, yes. They are inherently
Generally.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so his tendrils are flailing. He is just, if he had eyelids, like he would just be like, giving you the people's eyebrow there, Bakash. He looks over and spots Vilsis and says, "You, the touch of power. Have you come to share?"
I look over at Vilsis and back to the mind flayer. I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening right now.
Me neither.
I
I
Making-
fear for you.
I'm making an insight check for insightful fighting to look at this creature and see if I can figure out its weaknesses. This is contested again. It's my insight versus his deception. And that's a 19.
I rolled a 4, so I'm gonna say
Okay.
you win that.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, so nobody has actually answered or addressed this guy. So what's the action? What's the plan?
Time to beat the hell out of it. I think that's the
Wait.
game plan.
Is that the game plan? Hold on.
Hey, he's doing insightful fighting, and that sounds to me like it's time to fight.
I think it just lets him discern weaknesses, and I'm trying to grab the stat block here so I can give him some.
That's
It
true.
makes it so that any attack on him that does not have disadvantage will trigger my sneak attack damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means time to beat some ass.
So,
That
which
sounds like a horrible idea.
short bow.
Okay, you're gonna ready your short bow.
Yep.
Um,
If I decide he's gonna attack or otherwise hurt my
I mean,
annoying,
yeah, he hasn't like.
annoyingly loud little friend, I'm gonna put an arrow in him.
sounds reasonable. Vilsis,
Yes.
what is your plan of action?
I'm just so. How long has it been since the mind effect that we had?
About I don't know, about an hour, not long.
Oh, okay. An hour, I think, is when it wore off, wasn't
Yep,
it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good.
okay, we're good then.
That's a shame. I forgot that lasted an hour. I should have made it a half hour so I could have fun with that. Damn. That's what happens. You randomly roll shit. All right.
boy.
So he says, "I was expecting Drow again. They have been noisy as of late. Why are you here? Attacking my home?" And his tentacles are just flailing about.
Well, we didn't mean to attack the home, but we're looking for an outpost and didn't know if this was the one.
Does this look like a... And he looks at it. Fair enough.
This is the most reasonable mind flayer I've ever met.
Well, they're
You know,
smart. I mean,
I guess the first time I've ever seen him not step out and immediately start blasting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't write the module, just so you guys know. So if you
Hey,
die
no,
or
nice.
don't die, hey.
Kind of a nice change.
You haven't answered my question. Are you gonna pay for that? And he points at Bakash's damage to his house from his pittance.
You didn't get insurance, man.
Insurance.
Insurance.
I
You
love it.
know, I was out of my price range.
Adventures
That's fair.
insurance.
You know, You know,
So,
in this economy, I gotta believe him.
um,
I kind
uh,
of just feel for the guy now. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
he-
yeah, that's fair.
honestly, he's intimidating and he's frightful, but he hasn't really shown you any aggression other than he's maybe got a little bit of get off my lawn kind of mentality. But at this point says, yes, you must be referencing the events at Morcane.
Oh, so you've heard.
I've heard everything. What do you think I do out here by myself?
Haven't really thought about it.
I was gonna say, I don't really know what you do. And what is your free time? What do you do?
Experiments. Mostly on the locals. It's fun.
Well,
But
luckily we're
that
not locals.
Clearly. So, if you're looking for more cane, it's yes, guests.
More north.
No, I'm not going to invite them in for dinner. That joke is older than me. um,
I'm not sure what's happening right now. I think I got to roll on the madness table again or something.
yeah, they're telepathic, right?
That's true.
But anyways, Morgaine, you are far away. You've got what is it? Unit of measurement you use?
Usually we just go by
Miles?
days.
Miles? Yes. No, maybe. I have not
Days?
fed
Days
in
of
a
what?
while. It is 20 plus mile. 21 miles from here. Long walk without a horse and buggy.
It's about a. Okay.
But I think we can help each other. If you will. And his tan goes. I could use your help in exchange. I could help you get there.
Insight check.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
22.
He seems genuine. It sounds. I mean, you've never looked a mind flayer dead in his black beady eyes and his with his flailing tendrils, but he's terrifying. He's scary, but once again, he hasn't taken any aggressive action, and sounds genuine.
All in all, kind of promising. I ask him what's his offer.
Oh, shall you come in and we discuss business?
Can we talk out here instead?
Why do they always say that? You,
We're not
little
locals.
Smurf Neblin, have not answered me about the damage.
That's on you, bud.
How much do you think the damage is?
A quarter of a brain, I think. What, you don't think a mind flayer deals in gold,
I was
do you?
gonna say I figured he wasn't gonna deal in gold, but I was like, nah, brain. I didn't think it was quite on the table either. See, this is why I wanted to ask for his offer because I was like, there's no way he's gonna offer gold. So what's the favor?
Well, it's simple, yes. For a price, I will help you. You see, Morcane's leader is simply awful drow by the name of Salam Nedzarak. He has something of mine. It is a brooch that protects his mind from my prying into his. You bring me the brooch, and I will give you expedient access to Morcane. I need a snack. And he quickly looks over at the Vilsis. And his tentacles almost do like a slurping, and like if it was a tongue lipping his lips, but instead of its tentacles licking his bottom of his mouth. So, what do you say? Expedient access for a brooch.
Well-
Sounds reasonable to me.
Wouldn't we have to get there first to get the brooch?
Wait,
That's where I'm confused.
He's referencing his expedient access. He'll probably teleport you or some other weird shit.
So we get teleported first, grab the brooch, come back to him later. Is that what he's saying?
Yes.
I'm trying to.
He clearly wants whoever's in charge dead, but is having trouble. So everyone give me insight checks too, by the way.
yeah.
16.
7.
8.
12.
So 7, you are very sure that he is being honest when he says, "If you bring the brooch back, I promise I won't hunt you down for your brains."
Like doing that sound.
Maybe.
So.
You see at this moment another shadowy figure, older, much. It looks similar, but its flesh is more wrinkly and old, and you see this. You can tell it's female because it has a bust. This other mind flayer walk out with a head in her hand, with the top pulled off like something out of Silence of the Lambs. And you see her tentacles flail over top of her as it pops the brain out and devours it. And you hear, "Honey, not everybody wants to see that. Give me some." And he reaches over and he plucks a piece out and shoves it underneath his thing. "So, do we have a deal?"
You know?
Yeah, I don't think this is an offer we can refuse.
And yeah, weirdly enough, like, it's not a bad deal.
Let's be honest, you guys can get there on your own. I'll be straightforward with that.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just a very interesting opportunity, I guess.
I was gonna say, as long as he's not gonna like go after one of us about the pittance on the house, then
No, you need to pay for that. How you do, I don't care.
Can we put it together with the brooch offer? Negotiating again.
Give me a persuasion check.
I was gonna say, I was like, I guess that's persuasion, but that's a 5.
I'll tell you what. Bring half a brain, and we'll make it a deal. But
I could do that.
keep it
Bring
on
half a brain?
ice because ratted brain isn't good. But
Also has to be
I'll be honest,
fresh.
I prefer right from the source, alive. Yes.
So I gotta- So what you're telling me is I gotta beat a guy half to death, drag him all the way back here, and give you half his brain?
At that point, I'm willing to share for your inconvenience. He walks up to Vakash, and his tentacles run around your face like a slithery
Yeah.
tongue, and he says, "But if you're willing to deal,
No.
this one smells delicious."
Jimmy, stop.
So, what is the collective decision?
I think we suddenly have to turn the offer down because I don't know how we're gonna bring back a body alive.
Can I go ahead and hide?
You can certainly try.
Down.
There
There we go.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, that was my cat. She's being bad. She's...
I like
So,
how he
how was that chat?
down as if any cat ever listens to anyone.
They don't ever. You're right.
She usually listens to me pretty good because she's still
Must
a
be
kid.
nice. Oh, yeah. What'd you
So
get,
she-
Ben, for your stealth check?
18.
So you quickly swat away his slimy tentacle and dash
Ugh.
behind the nearest sorry,
Slightly.
I got a hiccup coming, but it's like,
It's like
do
at
I
the
come
end
out? Do I?
there.
Yeah. Yeah. You run behind a stalagmite, and you grab your pittance and you climb up to get out of reach. All right. So what is the plan? You have an offer. He will basically get you there quickly, which is great because you don't have to slonk through and run into some random stuff in the Underdark. Example A.
Yeah.
But all it'll cost you
Yeah, I
is
heard it.
bringing back a brooch and a potential meal.
See, everything. The brooch was fine until the potential meal part came into play, and that's where I was kind of like,
shouldn't have damaged his home.
He did say he prefers them fresh. He
He
didn't
did.
say requirement.
true.
I mean, if you think you're
doable. As
Yeah.
long as we just decapitate a guy and then just bring it back, right? This
Keep it on
isn't so
ice.
bad.
asked for half a brain, I mean, if you bring one that's
The
Or-
right half, please.
right?
What if we just bring back a full brain?
Keep it on ice.
I do have Ray of Frost.
This is doable. Okay, so
You're gonna bring up a brainsicle. Oh my gosh. All right, so you guys kind of get in a huddle. I need to know what the final decision is.
So,
Wait.
so I think we're going to have to give him the brain regardless.
Yeah,
But-
you done fucked up his shit.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
prefer it to not be my brain.
Yeah.
he says from up on top of the climb up the stalactite. You hear a little echoey voice.
You botch any more stealth rolls, and it's going to be your brain, just so you know.
we need to get past this because my voice can't handle it.
So I think the idea right now is we just take the offer, right? I think that's what the consensus is. We take the offer. Bring back a chilled head.
Seth?
Yeah, and that insight check I said, man, that I did earlier, I think he's telling the truth, right? That's what
Yes,
you said?
yeah.
All right.
Again, he hasn't made a move on us, so I
Well-
mean, all things considered, we're all
Yeah, the contradictory point there, or the alternative point is we could not take the brooch, and or not get him the brooch, but if we decide that the guy's a dick later, we could always get the brooch and then barter with the illithid again for it.
You hear in your head, you should know. I can hear you because now that you've spent some time with me, I will not have a hard time locating you in the future.
Yeah.
Really hard to hide your thoughts from somebody that.
Yeah. Didn't really
So-
think about that.
Fair. So I think we're going with yes.
I think yeah. I think we're gonna have to go with yes. We're gonna owe a mind flayer a favor.
That sounds
Never said that
horrible.
before.
I haven't said that with this character before.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is, while I didn't write this, I love this stuff because I like breaking the
Break the stereotypes.
stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
And this, and I'm gonna go off of the script. For anybody listening or watching, the reason this is so cool is because you can be evil and still need to get shit done. I mean,
Mhm.
everyone correlates evil with killing everything in sight. Now, generally, that's how DMs like to run their monsters, and there is nothing wrong with that. But more important is motivations behind why they're evil. Sure, okay, mind flayers are evil. Why? Because they have to do crazy shit in order to breed, right? And they gotta pleasure the old mother brain or whatever it's called, the elder brain. And
But
they're still intelligent creatures. They still have their own motivations. They still need shit done. And if that means risking sacrificing a group of adventurers for it, the real question you need to be asking yourself is why the man flayer couldn't do it himself. Well, you kind of know a little bit about it, right? You know that whoever's in charge, he can't do anything with, right?
Mhm.
So, and that's something he needs help with. So, if you're running an evil character, you can still be an evil piece of shit. Like this guy just asked them to basically bring an innocent person's head, or innocent person so he can feed. Now, he needs to eat. Does that make him evil? Well, maybe. Maybe wait till he's dead or something. I don't know. But anyways, just some thoughts. You'll be hearing more about that when we get to the 10 points about evil episode we're working on. So, anyways, so you guys have basically agreed to this. He says, come in. And he opens his door, and you see the old rickety, very thin, frail mind flayer there. There's a collection of heads out on a almost like a buffet. And you see a Smurf Neblin looking right back at you. You see a couple drow. You see a bunch of, it looks like mushrooms, but you realize they're like segments of maybe some of those myconid in a bowl, like a salad in the center with some tongs in it. What else? Sorry if I grossing you guys out a little bit.
I'm like, huh, all right.
Anyways, he says, right this way. And so he ushers you in.
I guess I'm just gonna stroll right on in.
Go away, but I have a 23 sleight of hand to have my hand on my dagger without it being obvious that my hand is holding a dagger.
And you do not, in fact, have weapon perks, because that would make any attack with that a crit on a 19 or 20. Shame. If you haven't picked up weapon perks, it's our newest release and just hit silver bestseller.
It's actually good though. So.
Yes.
like
It's actually good though.
I love you say that as if everything else I've made is just shit.
No, well,
You
haven't
suck.
made a thing yet that hasn't made it to the bestseller.
well, it's just usually you hear
It's true.
like like any like on the spot advertisements on stuff. It's usually as like a joke, but like no, this one was a good product. I liked it.
I don't know if my products are good or just there's so many people that listen to the show that go buy it. It's bestseller. To be honest, it might all just be garbage. Nobody wants to tell me.
You know, if they're giving you money, do you really?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, does it really matter by that point?
I guess I work hard
You're
on that
already
stuff
winning.
though, so that's nice. Anyway, so you guys agree, and he kind of ushers you in. Anybody trained in Arcana?
Yes,
Give me an
Actually,
Arcana
yeah.
check. If you're trained in Arcana, give me an Arcana check.
this will be interesting. Hopefully, this roll goes a little bit better. Wow, I did it. Cool. 18.
Mine is 19.
And I got a 7.
Wow,
You're opening Arcana?
nice. So you guys make your way in through this area, and it is like there's vials of all kinds of shit bubbling everywhere. There's a big pool of looks like I don't know, some sort of like critters, like an insect that's slinking through, like a very very thin crawfish like thing, an entire bowl of those things. Very terrifying and disgusting. As you make your way through, it's kind of like, it's surprising as you walked in here. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And you realize that as you get towards the outside, there's doors that lead to all different areas as it's going up, and you open the door that should be at the end of the design, but opens up and there's another room in it, and he's taking you through a series of rooms. You do instantly recognize that when he approaches these doors, he's uttering some magical words, and you do realize Leaf and Bakash that got good rolls, that those are passwords that are deactivating some sort of glyphs of and protections on those access points. So
we're not
clearly,
exploding.
yeah,
Yay.
clearly his area is very much trapped and has warding to protect it. So
I guess if you're
as
in the Underdark, that's smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as you are making your way through this, he leads to another big stone door with all these little rune carvings on it. And you do recognize that those are runes of teleportation, specifically one that links to a specific location. In this case, you assume it must be Morcane. And then sure enough, as the door opens, you see this almost like a... I'm going to get a little sliders on you. You see this massive set of light that seems to just be sucking inward like a worm tunnel. And he goes, right there is the way to Sith Morcane. Please send Solemn my regards. And you guys, you assume you guys walk through the portal.
Just gonna walk
Mhm.
right on through.
Who's the last one? Who's the last one through?
I
probably
assume
went in
me,
first.
Well,
because
Seven
I had
wanted to
calm
ask
down
him
my
what his name
stalagmite.
was.
Oh, you
So-
wanted to ask him his name?
Yeah.
I guess that means you're the
If he
last.
says, send Solemn my regards, I gotta know his name to give
He
Solemn
says,
Good name.
it's whom, but it's like two U's, so
It's Huum.
that's what it says.
I think.
I didn't make it up. That's what it says. That seems
thought he was
kind of
just like-
bland.
I thought he was just like, I've forgotten my own name.
No,
Oops.
that's funny. No, it's whom. But because of the way he talks, it just sounds like he's going, It should be like the Destroyer or something, but it's not.
So yeah. So on that note, then Seven will be the last one through, and he'll just be like, huh, and then walk through. Fast.
I think I heard that right.
All right, so
Beautiful. It's going great. After all those terrible rolls, guys, we're the good rolls that we didn't get on was we figured out that the doors that we were walking through were trapped and that didn't actually help us at all.
as
We're
you
doing great.
guys,
I'm
as
very
you,
grateful for the fact I don't actually have a brain.
right?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's part of it. Like, if you guys do the other travel, the level, if you choose not to accept it, the level of potential insanity that you can be affected with goes up a lot.
That's what I figured,
But
yeah.
trusting a mind flayer is also
It's like, I mean,
Yeah,
well, you
you
know.
gotta
everything
have
comes around, right?
Madness if you're gonna trust a mind flayer.
Right, which is
Well,
pretty much all adventurers. Despite the way the portal looked, as you step through the portal, it's almost unnoticeable. You know, one moment you're in Whom's refuge, and the next you find yourself in a small cavern. A single table is the only furniture present, and there are two bodies of drow lying on the floor. Next to them lies a carcass of a giant spider. A cave mouth is the only way out that you can see.
I'm assuming the drows are alive.
Say, I'm wondering if the drow.
Yeah, I wish I
Yeah.
knew. Oh no, it the drow are in fact dead.
Okay, I was like, are they alive?
Nope, they're dead.
And I'm assuming neither
immediately
one of these have
around.
a brooch on them.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I'm assuming neither one of these have a brooch on them.
No.
Damn.
That would be convenient.
I'm looking for what killed them.
You can see scorched cuts, from a blade of a high temperature, seared like a delicious juicy steak. But the
Everything I'm
blades,
To see where, like, if there's whatever killed them is still here.
yeah. So the wounds are so large, and you can tell they come from a large blade because you can see the diagonal cuts. Starts on the ground and on the walls of the cave and strikes through all the way to the ceiling. You do not see a weapon, but whatever it was probably massive and hot.
Like a great sword.
Bigger. Think much, much bigger.
Like a spear?
Like
Bigger.
a giant's weapon or a giant demon's weapon.
Oh,
Ding, ding, ding.
Nah.
Much
pleasant.
bigger. Yeah, right?
Pleasant. Okay. Getting better.
Is there a portal behind us?
No,
yeah.
there is not. All there are is some scratches in the wall that seem to match the same shape of his doorway, the little around the arch. But they are carved in with rock. It's not whatever. Give me an Arcana check, everyone.
Hey,
17.
Good.
21.
Very good.
I heard a 4.
15.
15.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right,
the
so
sword.
everyone except for Leaf, apparently, as you look at these runes, you realize that whoever made them, you assume it's Hume, but you don't know, made them in haste, made this magical teleportation circle. But not only that, you can tell that it's done in a way to try to almost blend into all the other gouges and stuff to be less noticeable. You assume that that's intentional. But it's definitely not as a permanent teleportation circle as you would be accustomed to seeing in like the big cities. So right now you're in this cave. It looks like you can see these deep gouges all around. Clearly split the spider and these drow entwine, cleaving through them. And then there's a cave mouth that leaves out.
Only
Bye.
one way to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's really only way for us to go. Yeah.
Are we still seeing like that fungal light, or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So one of the cores of the Underdark is there are fluorescent, bioluminescent things most places. They let it grow because it gives natural light. Though places of secret, they do like scrape it away. But yeah, it's lit. It's still dim light for the most part. But it's still. I mean, how many of you can actually see? I think there's a couple you can actually see.
All of them see but me.
Okay.
Hmm.
You are trying to sneak into this place to find out what's going on, why all the drow are rushing. These being dead is definitely a clue. Somebody's obviously either taken control or kicked them out or something. You're not exactly sure what, but something like this. This is supposed to be a drow outpost, and they were all fleeing. So clearly something is taken over, whether it's whatever it is, it's got a giant weapon and it's cleaving shit in twine. So when you guys begin to look out the cave, instincts urge you to kind of take a step back as an enormous chasm lies outside the opening. You kind of carefully peer out, and you can see that the chasm is 30 feet across and deeper and wider than your light or your sight extends. Far below, you can hear the sound of rushing water. A giant web stretches across the surface of the cliff. And I have to work tomorrow. We were scheduled from 8 till 10. So I think that's where we're going to stop it.
Oh
Uh,
man, I should have attacked the elephant just because I didn't get to fight anything. Something about making good decisions.
Didn't
long.
you complain because it was almost all fighting the last time?
I never complained when it comes.
I think somebody did. Oh no, I think you were surprised because there
yeah.
was like 3 combat encounters in that last one, and that's mostly because you actually avoided both combats, you guys. So that's not on me this time.
Yeah, we did kind of avoid a lot of it.
I said, that's the problem. Is I made good decisions, which meant I didn't get to fight anything.
With how bad our rolls were today, I think
Ugh.
that was the safe play.
I mean, I was doing all right. I only bought
I'm gonna be honest.
and 1 save, so
While the Illithid fight, if you decided to fight him, would have been really, really hard, I don't know that it's out of the possibility because I do think it's well within your skill set. It depends on how I play it, I think. But I think that's where we're going to stop it for now. Once again, I plan to continue this next month, 3rd Saturday. First of all, I want to say I was very surprised by all your guys' decisions. I honestly expected you guys to stab the Mind Flayer. I expected you to attack all the
fully
Darrows.
yeah.
I also expect you to fight this floating purple thing. So this just goes to show you never know what your party's going to do. Because all of those made it so that the situation you're in now will actually be less taxing. At least that's the point, because those are meant to drain all your resources going into the Sith Morcane.
Wherever we need to go.
Yeah. So it is important if you come back to remember that you have a level
of madness.
Yeah. Moving forward, if anybody else joins, I'll have them start with a roll to see if they succeed or have it or not, because that's going to become more and more important as we go forward. So, all right. With that being said, that'll be our game tonight. God, I don't want to get up in the morning, but that's life.
Unfortunately.
So, I want to thank you all for joining us today. It's been a while since I did a game that was pure no combat. Actually, our last Friday game wasn't it? There was no combat in that one either. Pure coincidence, I promise. Thank you for joining us today. Once again, I am your host, Justin, your Dungeon Master, Total Dumas. I run the Crit Academy Dungeons & Dragons Discussion Podcast. Please come visit us. Tomorrow we are discussing allies, enemies, and quests with our friend Jeff Stevens, a very popular best-selling author. Does a lot of great stuff, so I'm excited to talk about that. I just picked the topic for the following week, so I'm really excited for that too. So, but if you enjoy it, please follow us on Facebook or Twitter and all that jazz at Crit Academy. Consider going to critacademy.com and checking out our products. We have lots of bestsellers. They're doing really great. For the next 24 hours, there is a special Play It Forward that DM's Guild is doing. Normally, they take half of our royalties. And for one more day, we get for the Play It Forward, we get all of our royalties. So it's a really nice way to support creators. So we'll go around. Please introduce yourself. Tell me something you liked about the adventure. And then I'll ask as a whole. I'll ask when we're done. I got one more question for you guys. So we'll start from the right this time. Troy.
I played the Warforged Rogue 7. And the thing I liked was, and I did mention this earlier, I liked that the Mind Flayer was not an instant fight. That it was interesting to actually have to talk to one as opposed to having one show up and everybody go, "Oh shit, Mind Flayer," and then it roll initiative. You know,
I honestly kind of expected that, but that was a surprise on my end too. So very cool. How about you, Seth?
Yes, so I played Vilsis, the half-elf sorcerer. I really liked the character of the Mind Flayer. It was really an interesting fellow. But some good ASMR there, Justin. Thanks.
Thank you. How about you, Ben?
I played Bokaj, the gnome artificer, and I really enjoyed your Mind Flayer as well. your voice for the Mind Flayer. That's hilarious.
I'm not gonna be able to talk tomorrow.
Nope.
Be like, what'd you do, Justin? Were you choking on a big dick again? No, I was trying to play a character with big tentacles. Wait, that sounds worse.
Yeah, that doesn't sound much better.
Awesome, thank you, and of course, Austin.
Hi guys, I was playing the Fallen Azamar Palak, which surprisingly was supposed to be geared towards combat. We went right over it. I was very surprised we passed that stealth check. But my favorite part, probably the Mind Flayer, just like everyone else. I mean, honestly, it was definitely the highlight. We were there the longest. We were having fun with it.
I agree. And there was a lot more role play involved and less narration too. And that's honestly my favorite part. And honestly, that leads me to the next question. I'm not usually super big on modules, but I'm looking for inspiration and ideas to better run the monthlies, because right now we're doing the Adventure League style, which is designed for 2 hours, but it revolves on a lot about more narration and less let's do it. So I would love to hear opinions. This can be away from the board, but I'm thinking about ditching that and trying maybe once this is done, because we're almost through this entire adventure arc, trying to do a totally improv session where everything we just make up as we go. Everything's by the fall of the dice. Now, for me, that's going to require a lot of improv, but I think it gives me more control to focus on what I think you guys want to see and to happen versus what I'm following and is telling me what needs to happen, you know. And so I definitely want to try that, and I would love to hear thoughts on that. So does that
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, does that sound like something you guys might like?
I mean, I'm always down for that.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to do a completely improv game where just like
That'd be fun.
I have tables everywhere. It's like hey, oh yeah, you turn and talk to Billy. What's his name? Billy. Okay, Billy. What's he look like? You know, I don't know. We'll see. It's something I want to try different. I'm still not sold on the Adventure League stuff, and maybe that's just me not being able to run them well. I don't know, but we'll see. So, all right.
I mean, I've done well with the modules and with your homemade stuff, so I think you're doing great either way.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Thank you. Your check is in the mail for that paid compliment. All right.
I paid money to be here to give you that compliment,
Yeah,
so just
I
remember that.
appreciate that. That'll do for our game tonight. Thank you so much. I do hope you will join us tomorrow. Everyone wave to the camera and say goodbye. Keep your blades
Bye.
sharp and
Bye.
spells prepared, heroes.